And we're back. Before we move on to Spotlight Games, Ryan Dole has me tell you all, he specifies he likes Texas minus 27 against Arkansas. He does not like the Piglets' chances much this week. All right, let's move on to Spotlight Games, Jeremy. Number 24, TCU, finally ranked, after 3 weeks of showing out, finally ranked at number 2, Oklahoma. This could be a big-time roadblock. Oklahoma, 17.5-point favorite. It's a night kickoff in Norman. Do the Frogs have a chance?
Well, when you think about the last time these two teams hooked up, 2005, TCU rolls into Norman and beats Oklahoma. I'm sure the Sooners haven't forgotten about that, but this is looking to be a lot more competitive game than you would think, looking at these two teams.
I would. It's not up to me to pick against the spread. We have a guy that we pay to do that. I would jump all over that TCU plus 17.5. There are contrasting styles in this game. TCU's defense has given up 31 points through 4 games. Oklahoma's offense, meanwhile, absolutely awesome, clicking on all cylinders, 164 points through 3 games. I think it averages out like 85 points a game or something like that. TCU's defense, the ground game combined with the defense, do they even pose a threat to slow down Oklahoma?
Well, it's 54.7 points per game, but still an astronomical number.
It's called a rounding.
But when you look at this game, you've got the #1 scoring offense in the nation with Oklahoma, and then you've got, they're going against the #1 rushing defense in the nation at TCU and the #1 total defensive team in the nation. So definitely a big contrast there. Could be enough to slow that Sooner offense down. You look at just them rolling over everybody so far. But relatively untested. Cincinnati, maybe not a bad ball club, but definitely not good. The thing that stands out to me with Oklahoma and their offense is red zone efficiency. Oklahoma is 100% in the red zone so far this year. That's 18 trips, 17 touchdowns, 1 field goal. Pretty efficient red zone offense by the Sooners.
Not bad numbers. I'm still not impressed enough to sway my pick. Do not be surprised if you tune into this game at halftime and see a close score. Night game in Happy Valley. That usually spells good things for the Nittany Lions. They come in this game ranked number 12, and they welcome in an upstart 22nd ranked Illinois team. And Jeremy, a lot of people didn't expect much from Illinois with the talent that they lost last year. But Ron Zook has very quietly gone about getting this team back on tracks after a 52-42 loss to Mizzou to start the season. What do we see in this game?
Well, what you see right now is Penn State absolutely dominating on both sides of the ball in every game they play. Now, they haven't been really tested. The only notable team they played is Oregon State, and, well, you know how Oregon State's scored so far this year.
Coastal Carolina, Oregon State, Syracuse, and Temple. Impressive numbers, but like you said, we have to consider the opposition.
Well, I didn't hear Syracuse. Now I'm impressed. Anyway, when you look at that, you've got the #3 scoring offense in Penn State, just racking up points this year. You've got rushing and passing. You look at Evan Royster and Stephon Green, they're averaging about 8 yards a carry apiece. So very impressive so far. And when you look at that defense from Illinois, absolutely shredded by Missouri. I mean, they scored 52 points on, which Chase Daniel and company are doing on almost everybody right now. But I think this game's going to rely on Juice Williams. We know what he can do with his arm. We definitely know what he can do with his legs. He has more carries than the leading rusher on their team so far this year. But I believe that's what you're going to be looking at is Juice Williams trying to stick with Penn State.
You know, all joking aside as it relates to Penn State's schedule, I don't think this is an overrated team at all. I just think this is a team that has yet to be able to flex its muscle against an opponent the likes of Illinois. You know, this kicks off conference play. This is the first ranked opponent they're going to face all year. I really don't expect this to be a big roadblock for the Nittany Lions. Thus, it should be a good game and something to kickstart that program in Happy Valley. Let's shift our attention to the Plains, the site of a big-time SEC battle last weekend. LSU over Auburn. Les Miles, questionable play calling in late in the game, but it comes out on top as it relates to LSU. Is this a must-win for Tennessee and Auburn, maybe both?
I think definitely both. What you're going to have here is a battle of two pissed-off teams. You look at what happened with these teams last week. Tennessee, we talk about this being a must-win, a momentum swing game, and they are absolutely destroyed by the Gators of Florida, which a lot of teams have been. You look at Auburn. Auburn dominates the first half against LSU, has a big scoring opportunity in the fourth quarter. They take advantage of it, take the lead 21-20. And LSU marches down the field and scores. Questionable game management and play calling by Tony Franklin again in Auburn. But what you're going to have here is two teams that really desperately need a win. If you think about Tennessee, they lose this game, they are 1-3 on the year. On the other hand, if Auburn wins, they have a chance to really turn that thing around and compete with Alabama and LSU in the West.
So Dave Cutcliffe is gone, and Tennessee's offense is showing definite signs of drop-off. Meanwhile, at Auburn, you still don't really have the quarterback situation solved if you ask the fans. Tommy Tuberville, of course, saying that they're going to stick with Chris Todd, but how much longer can you do that with the way that Auburn's offense looked in the second half against LSU?
I really think when you look at it, Chris Todd is the leader of that team. He makes good decisions. He's an efficient quarterback. But you have the situation that Auburn got the ball with 4 minutes left in that game with a 21-20 lead. Now, in that situation, you have to run the ball and burn the clock. Here's the sequence that went down, Josh. An easy running play to defend on first down, which is the clock was still running. But the next play, an incomplete pass with 15 seconds left on the play clock. Just an absolute waste of a play. Then on third down, we decide to throw it again for an incompletion. You go 3 and out, you burn about 25 seconds off the clock, and you give it back to LSU. That is terrible. It cannot happen for all.
A loss for either one of these teams means a second conference loss. 2 losses in the SEC are hard to dig out of if you want to get to Atlanta. You heard Gold's phone go off in the background. That must mean it's time to send it to him for Friend of the Week. And I got a feeling we may hear something about Philip Fulmer in this segment one way or the other. Let's send it to Dole.
Hey there, friends. It's time for the Friends of the Week again. This week I got David Johnson from Tulsa. He threw 24 of 39 for 469 yards and 6 touchdowns, friend. That's wild. And then, but we got to go again. Javon Ringer, once again, 39 carries for 201 yards. And then finally, we're going to have to go to timeout. I'm only putting one person in timeout this week because he needs to go bad. And there's only room for one person in timeout. Philip Fulmer, time to go to timeout. And probably going to have to stay there. Back to you guys.